the Red Bull Ring, a modern day motorsports arena. But before all this rebel money, there was once this, the Österreich Ring, a high-speed roller coaster through the hills of Austria. With Armco inches from the racing line and grassy banks scattered with trees, this place was not for the faint of heart.
So it's the year 1979 and we're here at the Österreich Ring. I hope for any Austrians listening I've pronounced that. That definitely isn't my first take of saying that word. But this is what we would know as today as the Red Bull Ring. We're here on a 500 Yamaha from the year of 1992 when they were world champions. Now this of course is what I would say back in the day is a privateer Yamaha. And we're here for a few laps of, well, you'll see, as some of the most entertaining pieces of tarmac in the world. So most people will know that before it was the Red Bull Ring, it was the A1 Ring, which was from 1995 up until Red Bull money came in and changed it even further. But before that, we have this beauty from 1977 through to 1995 when it did change to the A1 Ring. And a lot of the track is vaguely familiar if you're accustomed to the modern day track. Especially the next two corners here you're going to see in a second. I must say MotoGP never, or the 500 Grand Prix never did race here. The first ever Grand Prix race here for MotoGP was 1996 in the 125 class. A certain Valentino Rossi got his first ever Grand Prix podium. You might have heard of him. Don't think he did much after that. But these left-handers here, you probably recognise these as Marquez corners, as a lot of people would refer to them these days, where Marc Marquez is absolutely 3 or 4 tenths over the world through these two corners here, these left-handers. And it flicks right over this blind crest, searching for an apex, and then you have this lovely fast run to the final one corner. Bike goes light over there, slight roll to stop the wheelie, and that is one lap of this retro Austria. And just look at the speed, you can see, look at the barriers just there. If I make one mistake, I'm surely dead. Probably why we never raced there, thankfully. Absolutely flat down to, or up to turn 1 as it goes up the hill. Brake at 300 meters, bike gets light going up the hill. Some variants raced over that direction there. They didn't take the chicane, but for the bike variant here right now and now, I'd say it was a lot safer to do this little chicane, because you come out of here, you can really just fire this 500 out. Look at the beautiful Austrian hills in the front, all these trees up there, the mobile signs. You come through here, full tilt, 200 meters on the brakes into this very fast right-hander uphill, and just look at the views. I can only imagine what it would have been like back in the 70s and 80s to drive or ride around this place. And a bike on the edge of the tires starts pumping as you're coming out of that very fast right-hander. And modern day Austria is a very fast and pretty scary track, but man, it doesn't have a patch on its older sister. And it does have kind of some uncanny valley of the old circuit. Of it kind of still feels like the new one in ways, like this right-hander into the left here. Just you can still feel that it is the same circuit. They have a few similarities, but a lot of the corner profiles are different. But you just feel like from here to the last corner, it is the same circuit. But man, is it a lot faster? Is it a lot more dangerous? But from a riding point of view, it is unbelievable. There's not many tracks that I have had as much fun on in VR as this one. Should really pick the power up already here. We're going to go flat over this time. I imagine we'll get a bit of a wheelie on. Nah, not that time. A lot of times, if just depending on your 2-stroke power band. And into this last right corner, it's just so much more flowing, this circuit, than the modern day one, which is understandable, as a lot of circuits these days are very much restricted for safety. 190 miles an hour before you get on the brake, but later this time, oh, a bit of a snap on the brakes. Back all the way to first gear for this little chicane here. He's going to open up this right-hander here. Short shift to second, pick it up. You can feel that rear tyre absolutely squirm underneath you, and then it's just flat. It's all about the engine now. You are pinned. Top gear, just about to kiss the limiter. And then again, really aggressive on the brakes. And I've already said about this part of the track. It's so beautiful, and it's my favourite part of the track. You come out of here. Rear end has a little bit of wobble. Just this is what we would know basically is down to turn 5 in the real life version we have today. And just absolutely throw it in on the limiter. Like if you crash at any of these corners, there's very little chance that you are surviving it. And I'm pretty glad we didn't go here, because I don't know what the fatalities in other motorsports of this track was back in the day, but it is pretty outrageous. Because even here you go, oh look, there's no barriers, but like if I crash, there's just, it's basically the Isle of Man TT, I'm going off the edge of a cliff. It doesn't look too bad here, but you should probably reach that barrier over there up by the trees. But this one here, if I get in the brakes here and lose the front, it's a good chance there's a bit of a drop off there. It's a real up in the mountain circuit, and it has a lot of character, which modern day one is amazing for many ways, but just does not have this late 70s look at it. So much to look at this track, I must say. Even riding it now after I've ridden it so much, and that's usually what happens, is that wheelie there that I've been referencing the last 2 laps, but it's an outrageous venue. It just shows that what motorsport has become, where you're all obsessed now about safety and racing standards and grading of these circuits. But back in the day, as we take our tear off, safety was in the back of organisers' minds, and definitely in the back of the riders' minds attacking circuits like this. Many of you will know, who did follow sport, who are probably a good bit older than me, that it was Salzburg Ring. That was the old circuit that they used to race in Austria before they ever came here, and that even is a circuit that I'll definitely visit someday on this channel. It is a very similar circuit where it's high speed and just crazy. But like, just the entry speed to these corners, this 500, so nimble, and the power band is beautiful around there because the bike just sings. Just over the crest out to the white line, I could just feel it through the controller, the rear end hopping around. And then top gear all the way down, you just want to open up the track, tip it in, and then at 200 meters on the brakes, using all the track, and then back around for this long downhill right-hander. Like, just look at the size of that grandstand. Look, the barrier's just there, you can even reach out and touch them, just so close. I really could just keep riding the circuit all on my own here in VR. It's just, it's so enjoyable, just where you can really actually push this 500 animal. I will link, of course, everything in the description, whether it be track or bike, and you can try it out for yourselves, because if you have a VR headset, have GP bikes, there's very few things on this game that I can say lives up to this atmosphere. And as we kind of do a little end parade lap wave to the cameraman of 1972 or 1979 or whatever year I've picked myself in here, it's pretty surreal to be able to go and relive a racetrack that still exists today and still is a fabulous arena. And someday I do reckon I'll make the venture to this in modern times, but for today I think that'll be all, folks. I hope you have enjoyed, and we shall see again sometime soon, maybe another historical track on GP bikes in a VR setting somewhere. But I will leave you here with the last 2 corners again. As you come across this crest, open the taps, and that'll be that. Thanks for watching. See you again, folks.